tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. You and you. People are starting to follow me and shit. It's weird. I mean, like, I haven't really done any. Well, I've been doing some stuff, but right now I'm trying to figure out how much to charge for my book. Maybe the first one will be free. I don't know. Thinking maybe, actually, I think the first book. I think what I'll do with the first book is put it out and don't and I'll ask for donations to help put out the next book. Ask for donations to put it in paperback to give it something solid. I want it to look like kind of like this. It needs to be this size. All right, kind of a smaller size. I want it to be a pocket book. Pocket book. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Ramen. I called you Ramen. Hi, Ramen for lunch. Nom 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 nom. Nommy 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 nom. Right. But so far, I've gotten a lot of compliments on the book. There's got to be something wrong with it. I changed the cover on the front. That was the only thing somebody told me. They said, you need a better cover than that on the front. And even then, I'm not sure that I'm really going to go with this cover. Here, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show you the cover. I think the book is kind of funny. The book itself, it has humor. It's dark humor, but it is humor, right? So there's the cover page. I'm thinking about making it funnier. I'm not even sure I really like that one. It's kind of, I don't know. It's got to grab people. All right. But see how this is working out? Yeah, this is working out really well. I don't like the gaps. It feels like something needs to be there, but nobody has said anything about it. What do you think about those gaps? Should I fill in those gaps? And it's a little off here. Like, this sentence should probably be all the way down here. So a little bit of touch up needs to be done. Otherwise, ready to go. Question is whether I'm going to charge for it or not. So I'm still waiting on one person to let me know what they think, and that is my mother. I added a story in there, and I want her approval first, make sure that it's okay with her because it involves her. Nothing that she did or anything like that, But I'm not going to write a book that's going to make other people feel bad. Nah. Not something I really like. Is the link to read my book in WhatsApp? I did put it in the group. I thought you read it. I did put it in the grassroots WhatsApp a while ago. And you said you liked it. The only thing that's changed is the story was added. So that's the only change that was made in the cover. The rest of it's the same, except for one line. It says, nowadays you can find Dion walking his dog. I don't even own a dog anymore. So I changed it to playing with his cats. Daryl is asking, who's going to publish it? I am. It is going to be self-published. I do not trust anybody else in this world, and it's my stuff. So I'm going to be very stingy. All right. I might find a publisher at some point if it catches on, but I don't have money to, The extent is there's a person where was it? My friend Donna's got a person. They pay her $10 an hour to work on their social media stuff. So I'm probably going to sell it through Amazon and maybe Kindle. I don't know yet. I am not there. I'm adding on other things. I'm going to tell you some of the things that I'm going to be doing here. See what you guys think. I'm not sure if I'm going to start recording some guided meditations. Daryl says, I figured a publisher would edit it. It isn't. That's why I'm sending it to people to read. And I'm sending it to alcoholics because alcoholics are, well, they're judgmental. And it actually helps in this case. But if everybody tells me it's good, then I don't feel like it needs to be changed. In a sense, I don't want it to be perfect. Nothing I ever do is perfect. But I'm thinking about recording some guided meditations and maybe doing affirmations. So, and it's going to be a series of books. It isn't going to be just one book. But I'm thinking about this first one, maybe putting it out, seeing what the reaction is, because it's not my best work, right? So, all right. But we're here to talk about paying it forward. I'm sure my other listeners, you guys get to engage. So, wow. That is not an overview. Pay it forward. Film the synopsis. No, I didn't ask for the film. But see, you got to be careful how you ask it. Give me an overview of the saying, pay it forward.
Here's the definition of pay it forward.
Yeah, we don't need to hear it. I already know the definition. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm ethanol challenged. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Got a lot of rewatchers. All right. So I was just watching this, and I took this, but I was kind of looking for. But I took it from a video. I was kind of watching about this guy who is going for a job interview, but he's living on the streets. The guy gives him a free haircut. He says, "How can I ever repay?" He even gives him a jacket, lets him clean up. Helps him clean up and put on some nice clothes. He ends up becoming a realtor and buys his place and gives it to him. See, that's a pay. Is that a pay it forward? No, that's a pay it back. That's not pay it forward. Still a good thing, but they were calling it pay it forward. No, forward means it needs to go to the next person. It's kind of playing like you're it and there's no touchbacks. It's kind of like playing you're it with no touchbacks, right? You pay it forward. In that case, it was paying it back. And that's okay too. Nothing wrong with that. Guy helped you out later on in life. It was like 20 years later or whatever, right? The pay it forward definition is quite simple. When someone does a kind deed for another, instead of returning the favor to them, in which case this is what they did, a good deed in turn is done for another person. If one decides to partake in this, they should do so with the expectation of not receiving anything in return. What does that sound like? Well, gosh, they just described the AA program, didn't they? Yes. Alcoholics Anonymous is the ultimate pay it forward. You want to know how I pay back my sponsor? The man that helped me get sober and cram this into my head, that spent hours with my crazy ass, that had a shit ton of patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love. You know how I pay that back to him? By paying it forward like he did. Once a year, when it's my birthday, when it's my AA birthday, I reach out to him and give him a little update on what I'm doing. That is it. We've never really been friends, but I'll be eternally grateful for that man taking time out of his life. He didn't have to do that. He didn't get nothing from me, but he got something. He did. He got those dividends. And guess what? He's still sober. probably coming up on 20 years about now. I don't remember how much. He had like 7-8 years when he was sponsoring me. I think. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I really don't remember. Right? But we do this often. Now, I brought up, I actually read this in Grassroots yesterday. It is not about giving. It is when and how to give. See, there's tact. We have to have tact when it comes to this. But gosh, it is easily passed on from one person to another in this program. And I know I just said it, but AA is the ultimate pay it forward. In fact, let's go to AI. How is AA and the saying pay it forward alike? Okay. You guys think I memorize all this shit? I'm just good at conveying it. Okay. I could have done this, but gosh, in both Alcoholics Anonymous and the concept of paying forward, there's a strong emphasis on the principle of helping others without the expectation of direct repayment. And that's what it is, man. Without any Now, we call it unconditional love, right? Well, say I'm working with a sponsee. They get through the steps, like with my sponsor. And Ray, my very first sponsor, Ray Hayworth, he wasn't my friend either. He didn't want to be my friend. He knew his place. He already had plenty of friends. He didn't need more friends. He had his fellowship. But he gave a fuck enough about me to confront me on my bullshit. So he may not have been my friend, but he loved me more than I loved me at the time. My second sponsor, same thing. He loved me more than I loved myself at the time. And that's what mattered. And that didn't need to include friendship. They loved me for who I am, even though I was all fucked up. That's paying it forward. Giving love to other people to where the status quo feels they don't deserve love. We don't do that here, do we? What do we tell newcomers, even if they have a slip or a relapse? What do we tell them? Come back. Come back. Please come back. Yeah, absolutely. Here's how they're like sharing and service. In AA, the core principle is that members who have achieved sobriety often find that helping others struggling alcoholics is vital to their own continued recovery. This service takes many forms, from sponsoring new members to sharing one's story at meetings. It used to be, right? This is how we used to work it. If you had a birthday that month, you were just supposed to tell your story. Now, Grassroots is going to get big enough to where this is going to start happening. Each month, we will have people who have hit years. Once you hit a year, you are supposed to tell your story. It is an unstated rule in Alcoholics Anonymous. When you hit your 2-year, your 3-year, if you've been around me long enough, no, I don't go to many in-person meetings, but still, when it comes to my birthday, I go down to Primary Purpose and I tell my story. I've been doing it for years. In fact, I got a chip right here. I got 2 of these. They hand out these chips for speaking. I won a mug last time, which I needed because I was running out of coffee cups. Says Primary Purpose on it. It's got the AA symbol and stuff. It's pretty cool. I actually won a cup. I don't win shit very often, right? The next thing, the ripple effect. Both pay it forward concept and the spirit of service in AA recognizes that a single act of kindness or assistance can have a ripple effect, inspiring others to do the same for someone else. This can create a positive chain of generosity and support within the community. I watch this happen all the time. It happens in my life. I remember I'd been doing this for a minute. I think I was about a year and a half into this, doing lives. And I started to get very frustrated. I wasn't sure I wanted to do it anymore because day after day after day, that number read 0. No one was here. And I'm like, and I went to my wife and I said, I don't feel like I'm helping anybody. Nobody's showing up. I don't know what's going on. And that's when she told me, Dion, that I wasn't supposed to tell you this, but there's a guy out there. I still, to this day, it was a friend. It was a boyfriend of a friend of hers or something like that told her. And he's been riding the bus. He's sitting in work release and he's been riding the bus. Well, you know what? I was in work release. I get it. And because of your stuff, he has been able to stay sober and do better. That is the ripple effect. I help a lot more people than I know, than I realize. And every now and again, God gives me a glimpse into it. He doesn't give me the whole thing. Why does he not do that? This is what I think. Because it would probably go to my fucking head. And I don't want that either. See, once I do this, it's out of my hands. It is in God's hands. And the fact that what I do is imperfect just means it's okay to be human here. When I go out into the world, I know I have anxiety, but for years, okay, when I was 17, I decided I was going to do something, okay? 17 was a weird year for me because I lived on Skid Row, but I also came up with, actually it might even been before 17, so don't quote me on that. I was a teenager when I did this, when I started this, and I still try and do it to this day. Right? The challenge is this: make one person a day laugh. I think I did it way before because I was trying to get out of my shyness. I know. People don't believe I'm shy, but I am. All right. So the thing is, so you got to make one person a day laugh. Oh, that's not too hard. Well, there's one rule. It can never be the same person twice. You're going to run out of family and friends within the month. Within 2 months. Now you're going to have to do it for complete strangers. You're going to have to make their day a little bit better because of this, because of the ripple effect. See, if I can help you, you help the next person. It goes, it's like dropping that rock in the middle of still water and you watch it kerplunk, and then you see a little thing go up, go bloop, right? And then it starts to go out. And that's what we're talking about here. Right? See, my community around me is healing because we continue to do that. We do it over and over. Right? Because I go out there and I advocate for the right thing. I try, that's what I'm after, the right thing. Not Dion's thing, but the right thing. Because I have found that God's will is much better than mine. Right? Daryl says, paying it forward to me is unselfishly give of myself, like what was unselfishly given to me. And to try and do that outside of our program as well. Yes. Practice these principles in all of our affairs. It doesn't say, and to practice these principles at the AA meetings where you feel safe doing it. See, the challenge is taking it back out into the world where it doesn't feel so safe. So you can find out that you have more courage than you knew. That's the lesson learned in that. Michelle said, you helped me come back. Thank you. You are absolutely welcome, Michelle. I'd also like to say you're the one that made the decision to come back, and that is yours. But if I said something to help you get there, you're welcome. But I ain't going to take credit. But I do appreciate you telling me. Makes my heart happy. Focus on giving, not receiving. See, I don't have to worry about receiving anymore. I already get the receiving. I understand it. I get to see the forest for the trees. When I help somebody else out, the gift is watching them apply it and having a better life. That's the gift. and it's a beautiful one. It's one I very much enjoy because I don't get jealous of other people's successes anymore. I used to, even in the beginning of the program. Absolutely, I did. Daryl says AA is designed to become a road show. Yeah. Now look at Zoom. We're all over the world. We can all connect from all over the world. A lot of people are against the Zoom. They're like, well, this isn't. No, that's just you being closed-minded. AA is changing. See, every alcoholic wants one thing, the good old days. I'm going to tell you something. They're the good old days for a reason. Create some new good days. Right? COVID changed AA forever. It's supposed to. AA is supposed to be malleable. That means it should fit into any condition. We meet others where they are at. And sometimes that becomes generational things. Well, a lot of these kids had grown up on their tablets and things like that. So they're used to hopping on Zoom. They're used to that. So if we can meet them there and help them get to physical meetings also, well, isn't that the best of both worlds? Isn't that what we should be doing? There's some things in AA I'm like, I can't go that. I ain't gonna fight them. Clearly, a vote was taken, and the vote was not what I wanted. So what? Okay, good example. The Plain English Big Book. No, I'm not required to read it. I'll stick with my 4th edition, thank you. I might even use the 5th edition when it comes out. But out of all the editions, the one I'm used to the most is the 3rd edition. That changed I still get the numbers mixed up. So, all right, the core idea of paying it forward is to help someone not out of obligation to the person that helped you, but out of a desire to contribute positively to the world. Similarly, in AA, while gratefulness for help received is important, the focus shifts to freely giving help and support to others in the program rather than feeling obligated to repay specific individuals. Right. I get this a lot with sponsees. Dion, I don't know how to repay you. And I always tell them, you don't need to repay me. There is no payment to be made to me. You've gotten to know me over the last year. You see all the gifts in my life. And that comes from helping you. No. What I want you to do is teach somebody else what I taught you. Keep paying it forward. Why is that important to me? Because I want this program to be here for my grandchildren because I got a feeling they may need it. I want it to be here for my kids because I got a feeling they might need it. There are other people's children out there. And what we are doing is we are planting trees of which we will never sit in the shade. But we got to sit in the shade of the trees planted before us. You got to pay it forward. You got to plant those trees. Therefore, both AA and the notion of paying it forward share a powerful belief in the transformation power of altruism, where a single act of kindness can spark a positive chain of events, benefiting many individuals and fostering a sense of shared responsibility and connection within a community. I'm going to give you an example, and then we will wrap up, because I should probably get to my shores today at some point. At one point, I started an AA meeting in the Henderson Community Church, and I tried it for 9 months. I just couldn't get anybody to, well, there were a few people, and we got to know each other very, very well. One of my sponsees and Amber's always here, and Amber, right? And it was the three of us for the most part. People would come in and go, but for the most part, it was just us three. And we got to know each other very well in that year. In fact, I miss that part. That's the part I kind of miss. And we all three of us became very good friends. Right? Now, what I had done is I wanted Thursdays to be family night. Okay, now I want you here. What did I just say? I wanted it to be family night, right? So that means that we needed Al-Anon and Alateen at the same time. So finally we got Al-Anon in there, right? And they were there for 3 months before, I started to give up, and, and I ended up eventually shutting the meeting down. It wasn't working. And the Al-Anon meeting was growing. And I knew that they were going to outgrow that room that they were in. They were going to need the upstairs, which we were taking, because I thought AA was going to be bigger. Okay. Well, eventually that Al-Anon meeting did get bigger, and you know what happened? Because, see, they made all these requirements for Alateen meetings to be run, and there was tape to get through, and they got through that tape. So now there's another Alateen meeting. Before that, there was only 2 Alateen meetings in the Denver metro area a week. Now there's 4. We doubled them. What was that? It was the ripple effect. If I wouldn't have started that AA meeting, now there are people that are doing Al-Anon and Alateen. They have no idea what I did. They have no clue I was even involved, even though my sister runs it. But she knows I don't need the clout for it. Besides, I didn't do the work. They did. I just made it available. So I got what I wanted. I still got what I wanted. And that is pay it forward. That is the ripple effect. Now there's children being helped. Do I need to be like, I'm the one that did this, so you ought to thank me? Fuck no. We don't work that way. And what am I going to want them to do? I'm going to want them to pay it forward. Because Alateen saved my fucking life. It is the best prevention program out there. Why? Because it's experience. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. So pay it forward. I'll peace out and pay it forward.